You.
Peace and blessings, world, and welcome to another edition of Fresh Perspective, where we give you a fresh view on week's hot topics. And once again, it's that association that keeps giving the goods. It's a lot of things happening, but before we start, I'm your host, Irvin Hawkins, and I got with you the great orator and tactician, Mr. D. Burtz.
What's going on, people? Let's do what we got to do and let's discuss what needs to be discussed. LeBron James, you got problems.
And also, on top of LeBron James, we're just going to talk about super teams in general and how things are working out. But we got to start with the king. So, D, what's your thoughts on Mr. LeBron James?
Well, I think LeBron James is in trouble. And the reason why I say LeBron James is in trouble, a couple years ago, David Black came as a high IQ coach who knows how to implement and run a basketball system. LeBron James, at this point in his career, need to play in a system that um, doesn't have him make all the decisions in within the offense. The problem is
Mm.
LeBron James is not comfortable playing basketball outside of an offense where he gets to make all the decisions. He has trust issues. He doesn't trust his teammates enough to make plays for him. He has to make plays for them.
Interesting. And now, just a couple days ago, they handled my Wizards pretty handedly now. So it seems like when they play a good team, they go to another level. Speak on that.
Well, that happened to be a game that I watched in its entirety, and that was pretty much poor coaching on Scott Brooks' behalf and poor play of All-Star point guard John Wall. LeBron James simply did what he wanted to do, and Scott Brooks didn't try any type of strategy outside of what teams have been doing to Cleveland this season, which is let LeBron get his and shut down the other people. The thing was, they let LeBron get 57. That's too.
Yeah, he put that family pack on us.
Yeah, they allowed him to get to his sweet spots on the floor, uh, and he was able to take, and make some tough shots. Some of those fadeaway jump shots were ill-advised, and you'll live with, but he had it going, and he knocked those down. I happen to believe that the offense was flowing better with Bradley Beal running the offense and John Wall sitting on the bench. But that's just my personal opinion. John Wall, as good as he is, his inability to hit the mid-range jump shot kind of hinders him at times in a game of that magnitude where Bradley Beal can get to those same spots, and you have to honor his jump shot.
And I agree. John Wall definitely needs to step up and go beyond star status and become a superstar. But back to you said something pretty interesting about Cleveland and a system. So there's no belief that Devon Lue even has a system or could even implement one in the first place.
Well, the
Is that
thing
what you're saying?
now that may be the point there that he wasn't able to even implement one to begin with. He was LeBron's guy. He became the highest paid assistant in the history of the sport for a reason, and that's because he was self-appointed by LeBron James to be the coach of that team. David Black came in to coach Kyrie Irving, Tristan Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, and Deion Waiters. Build a system around those players, have those players playing basketball the right way, and we would have lived with the results of the growth of that young team. Who knows? They could be looking like the Boston Celtics today. Who knows?
And one of your sayings is coaching matters. So I believe that Billy Donovan has the resume. He's a quality coach. What's happening out in OKC?
Well, I think the issue with Billy Donovan, Kevin Durant hit on it. He's just not a good coach for that team. He's not a good coach for that personnel. When he was in with the Florida Gators, he had an opportunity to recruit players and recruit the type of players that he needed to success. He had Al, he had Corey Brewer, who was a sleeper. Nobody really respected the game of Corey Brewer. He had a junkyard dog and Joakim Noah, solid point guard, and Torian Green, and a shooter in Humphrey. That team was pretty much and coming off the bench was most famous. Like that team was loaded. They had a solid squad, but in Oklahoma City, he's just not implementing a system that generates points for those players.
I mean, but
They
when you
play,
but when you
they
go
play
down the
ball.
line, real quick, when you go down that line, that OKC team is also solid. So he has solid personnel. He
I
has a
think the
lot of
rotation,
talent.
yeah, I think the rotation, he's got his rotation down. I like the way he He rotates. He has Melo playing with his second unit, which allows Melo to get in his rhythm. But when I say a system, I'm talking about the Popoviches of the world, or the Brad Stevenses of the world, or the Doc Rivers with no Chris Paul. When they was running the system in Boston and in Orlando, they were actually running a system that generated shots. What you have in Cleveland and what you have in Oklahoma City is you have one playmaker, just like Chris Paul, in Russell Westbrook and LeBron James. They are creating the shots for other players. These guys are not running offense option after option that's going to generate points by the style of play. We're not talking about when a guy 5 seconds left on the shot clock and the special ability that Carmelo Anthony or Paul George or Russell Westbrook have to make their own shot presents itself. I'm talking about we're running 2 down screens. We got a backdoor cut here. We got a flash up top. We got movement that's going to get these guys shots. Right now, you see Russell, you get a high pick and roll. He beats his guy. You get a kick out. You get a shot. That's pretty much it. And if Russell is reading the defense correctly, then those shots become wide open. You're not going to win a championship playing ball like that.
Okay, good point, good point. So let's move over to Houston. How you feel about those Rockets?
Well, the Rockets are near and dear to my heart because they run in the system. I happen to play in that system. Shout out to Joby. Shout out to the County Boys. 04, 05, 03, Mario West, Jawan Jones, T-Rank, Ricky D, Marcellus, Mark Hart. Hey, man, flip with them lips, my guys. But y'all got to understand what I'm saying here. And that system, though it's a bad system from most people's perspective, it's still a system. The shots that they're taking are generated by the system. It's not they're just coming down and pulling. These guys are actually running an offense. And as far as James Harden is concerned in the Houston organization, I'm still trying to figure out what role Chris Paul is going to fit on this team. You cannot take the ball out of James Harden's hand. Everybody believed that James Harden was a 2-guard. I happen to believe that he's a point guard masquerading as a 2-guard, unlike some of the other point guards that we have in the league. James Harden is a willing passer, but he has put so much work in on the offensive side of the ball to where he can score at will. You can't stop James Harden. And taking the ball out of his hand is going to hinder him later on.
So do you feel like it's an AP and New Orleans situation where Chris Paul is kind of like overkill and doesn't necessarily fit in Houston?
I don't think Chris Paul necessarily fit in what Houston tried to do with his style of play. But I think Chris Paul is a high enough IQ player. Once he gets time on the floor, he's going to figure out how to be an effective player in that system. But he possibly is going to have to get in a role and accept it and fulfill it in order to fit in that system. Because right now, Eric Gordon is playing out of his mind. Really, he's doing what he's always been able to do. He's just healthy.
Okay, good point, good point. And speaking of playing out of their mind, man, we got to go back to Porzingis. Last week, I saw the guy get a block, then run the floor, then catch the dunk on the other end. I'm really enjoying watching this young man play basketball. How do you feel about Porzingis in the New York Knicks?
Well, shout out to Phil Jackson for believing in Porzingis when nobody else did besides myself. Shout out to my main man, Courtney Chappelle, who actually believed in me when I said I like Porzingis. Denzel Chappelle, for those who don't know who I'm referring to. But back to the task at hand. This is year 3 for Porzingis. No Melo there to pacify him, to bail him out of the situations. He is in a position now where he is the man. He is the leader. He is the man of the franchise. He has got his body in shape. He is taking and making his shots. He is playing with extreme confidence, and he is doing what he's always been capable of doing. The defense was there. We were just waiting on the offensive explosion. And now he is shooting the ball. He has got it strong enough to where you can't push him off his spot. So now he getting to wherever he want to get to, whenever he want to. And he's always been a great guy to play off the ball. But the system that the New York Knicks was running prior to this year, they just didn't understand the nuances of the triangle. They was not running the triangle. You can ask Jelly Bean Bryant, you can ask Shaq, even Coach Derek Fisher, who was coaching them prior to Jeff Hornacek. They were not running what those guys ran to win those championships. Now Jeff Hornacek, Jerry Sloan, the Stifle, is running similar offense that they ran in Utah with Jerry Sloan. He knows how to run that offense, and the team has bought into it. The personnel fits it, and now you see Porzingis killing everything moving.
And once again, y'all listening to Fresh Perspective. Actually, it's Fresh P Crew -2. It's Hawk and Homage doing our thing. We coming up to our final perspective of the day. Talk to me. What is your final perspective of the week on the association? What jumped out to you?
Well, the association, man, thank y'all. Thank y'all for giving us an interesting season thus far. James Harden looking like he want that MVP trophy really, really bad. Russell Westbrook is out here really genuinely trying to figure out how to improve and be the most efficient player he can be for his basketball team. Steph Curry and Golden State, Kevin Durant, oh my goodness, they are starting to pick it up and roll tide now. You got the Lakers, shout out to Lonzo Ball, Luke Walton, and the crew out there. You guys are fighting hard. You're in every game. You're about 9 deep. Kyle Kuzma, man, look at here. You got the league on notice, son. Larry James Jr., when you come back, your spot is in danger because Kuzma is going to kill in your role. Julius Randle has accepted his role as the sixth man. Him and Jordan Clarkson, they coming in immediately impacting ball games when they hit the floor. The Lakers are looking good so far. It's a long season to go, but they're steady roll. I also got to shout out the man, the myth, and the legend. For those who don't know who I'm talking about Mr. You know what time it is, Damian Lillard. He is out here not caring about nobody.
Yes, yes. The association is definitely the gift that keeps on giving. And so we're going to end this session off with a peace and blessings as we always do. And we'll say, if you like this show, please tell a friend, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the share button. And matter of fact, you can even go to www.freshperspective.com and check out some more videos and just stick with us. Peace and blessings.